Thank you for coming.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm Deon Webster Cox, and I've got our Honorable Kenneth King of the 36th District Court here with me today. Now, do you want me to, how do you want me to, we're here on Protect the P. It's not about legal whatsoever. It has nothing to do with court.
And we go way back.
And we do go way back.
Whatever you feel comfortable.
Okay, all right. Okay, very good. So with that being the case, I have I'm here because I have a podcast. And I don't know if you know this, back in 2007, I had my own television show.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
What was the name of the show?
The Deon Webster Show.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was on not WGPR. RJ Watkins had a station on Woodward in Highland Park.
I remember that.
I had a show and I self-produced it.
Okay.
And I had just passed the
bar.
bar.
We need to talk. I want to do a Judge TV show.
Okay. Well, let's make it. Oh, I can. Let me tell you something. My daughter said something to me. My little daughter, you've met her, so I would bring her to court with me. And she said, Mommy, she's 16 now. She was like, if there's a will, you will make a way.
Amen.
You will make a way. And that's just who I have been. And it's amazing to me that she sees that in me.
Okay.
That I just didn't. All I knew is that we weren't taking no for an answer. We were going to do what I said we were going to do. I had a plan for her, and we were going to execute the plan because I execute. So now here it is. I've got a podcast that this is actually going into the second season. So we made it past first season. Now we're in the second season.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that is being just dedicated to what the being definite of my purpose and what my purpose is. And that's running my firm and having a podcast. And so what it is that it's called Protect the P. And everybody asks me, well, what's the P?
That's the first question I asked.
That's the first question you asked me. Now, do you want to know the origins of Protect the P?
Sure.
My daughter, I looked at it after I got a gift from God, and she was the gift from God. And I only had one job, and that was to take care of her and protect her. One job. That's it. So when she was younger, and from the time she was in the womb, I would tell her to protect her P. And I would say, listen, if anybody touches you, if anybody does anything to you, you tell me now. Because I had her at 38. I said, don't wait till you're 40 and I'll be damn near 80 to tell me somebody did something to me, did something to you, and your whole life is ruined. I said, I don't want to hear it then. Mm-hmm. Tell me now so I can do something, we can handle that. Right. So if you don't tell me, I don't know, and don't come tell me, I don't want to hear how depressed you are at 40 and all these, I don't want to hear it. Right. So then at that point, that has been that's been one of my themes with her, is to protect her P. So then I said, well, you know what? There's more. And I've been always very, I don't want to say too base level with her. I think it kind of, when we're talking to our children, sometimes you just have to make things very plain and simple so they'll understand. And sometimes you put it in a way that is very formal, and we're being very proper in our speech with our children. Sometimes you just say what it is. So with that being the case, with my daughter, I have the only thing I can do is love her and educate her. And the only way I know really to educate her is I take her out and travel. And that's it. Mm-hmm. So when I go out, I ask people what's their P. People say, what P? I said, what P do you think of? There's many words that start with the letter P. Mm-hmm. So with that being the case, I told you the origins of the P, protect the P. What's your P?
So when I think of my P, I think of either peace or privacy.
Okay.
And I've learned that protecting your privacy is very important. And I mean that because, take you for instance, you have a lot of things going on here. You have a beautiful office.
Thank you.
You have a lot of people that are working here and are dependent on you and so forth. But what you have to understand, recognize, and appreciate is that everyone is not going to be happy for you.
Oh, yeah, I got that part.
So people get into your business and will try to tear you down or look for you to fail in any kind of way. So it's important that you protect your privacy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can't let everybody know everything that you're doing, everything that you're thinking about, because people will try to take it and use it, or take it and use it against you.
Don't I know it? You know, I had a person who we had been friends for years, worked and met during, well, I've been an attorney, so past 18 years. And I'll tell you something, this person said, let me tell you something, nobody likes you. I said, I said,
That's a lie.
I said, well, thank you for your honesty, and we're done. I have no more. But I appreciate.
That's
Tell
not
me,
true.
I appreciated the honesty, because if yours is nobody, then you're part of the
That
nobodies.
wasn't honesty. That was their opinion.
That was their opinion,
Yeah,
right?
I doubt very seriously if they asked everybody if they like, because they didn't ask me if I liked you.
Right.
You know,
Well, that
if
was
I didn't like you, I wouldn't be here.
I would think not. I would think not. But yeah, so that's what I was told. So how do you protect your privacy? So what's your piece and protect
You
your
have
piece?
you have to keep your circle small. Keep things. You can't, when good things happen to you. Unfortunately, you can't share them with everybody. You know, I once upon a time, when I got hired in on Wayne State Law School's staff to be an adjunct professor, I posted it. When I got hired on at UD Law as a professor, I posted it. And when certain things happened throughout my life over the last year or so, people could not wait to pounce on that,
Right.
and try to destroy everything that I had accomplished.
Right.
So you have to keep things close, and then people will take it as though you're bragging when things are happening to you. My blessing is not me bragging, but I thought that I had to share God's goodness, what He was doing for me.
Right.
But I have to also be mindful, like I said, that people aren't going to always be happy for you.
No, they're not. They really are not. But how do you stop that? You can't. You know what you've been given is a blessing from God,
Yeah.
and sometimes it just shines through.
Yeah, you're not going to stop God shining.
You can't. You can't stop
His
that.
light is going to shine through you.
And I'm telling you, folks will try to put you down.
People are going to hate, regardless. But don't give them too much to work with.
Yeah.
Don't let them know everything that you're doing or everything that you're thinking about.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely not. I always say before I get ready to, when I have a trip plan, I never tell anybody about the trip. I keep it, I hold it close to my vest.
People hate who she thinks she
Oh,
is,
yeah. Oh, I get that all the time.
She always running around the country or running around
the world. It's the world. It's the world. And I'll say it. Whatever I think I can achieve, whatever I think and put in my mind that I want to do, I can make it happen. When it comes to fruition, it may not be the way I thought it was going to be, but it happened.
Yeah.
So
I can tell you have a business mindset. Actually, just looking around, I can tell that you have a business mindset, because everyone can't do what you do, but that's a gift that God gave you.
That's truly a gift that He gave me, and I appreciate it. And every day I thank Him. What I do is, when you talk about protecting, I know you said you protect your privacy, and that's how you protect your privacy. How do you also said your peace?
Oh yeah, peace. Peace is another thing, is that, people will always come at your peace. And I pray every night for peace, that I'm able to have a restful night's sleep, and that negativity is kept away from me, because people will throw their burdens on you. If it wasn't for other people's problems, I wouldn't have any.
Right.
We know that as attorneys and as judges.
Right.
If it wasn't for other people's problems, we wouldn't have any.
We're just fine.
I would probably have hair. You probably wouldn't have any gray.
I'm liking the storm look, because I want to go all white. And I'm telling you, I like it when it comes in. But I agree. I agree with you. And it's funny. I was having a conversation. Someone called me, and they said, "Oh, I can't. I got to get this certain piece of equipment. I need this piece of equipment, and the insurance company is denying it, and they're saying I don't have this." I said, "Wait a minute," because I have a case management company. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Well, all right. Do you want this piece? Because my case management company can do things. Okay. It can. And then I can build the insurance company, because we've got what we need, which is a prescription from the doctor saying you need this, and I'll fight it out with them later. And the person really wanted to focus on what I said, and I finally had to say, listen, I don't want to talk about what somebody else.
I have a solution here.
Right, I got a
you
solution.
Just want to talk about the problem.
I said, I'm not going there with you.
Right.
I'm talking about, do you want, you say you need it, you say you want, you said there was a prescription. I'm here. I don't want to. Problem solved.
Why are we still talking about it?
Couldn't help it. And then the person said, finally, we shouldn't get out of pocket. I said, we're not out of pocket. I said, well, remember you told me that's how women talk to each other. I said, so listen, my thing is about solutions. It's not staying. I cannot go where I want to go if I focus on what went wrong, what somebody else didn't do or did.
Right.
I can't focus on that because I have no control over that. I have control over what I do.
That's right.
And I focus on that. And trust me, it's okay.
So peace is very important. It's very important to your overall health because if you don't have peace, then you're going to have stress. And stress will kill you.
Absolutely.
Stress will give you a stroke. Stress will give you high blood pressure. All of those things. So you have to guard your peace.
All day. Now, is there anything in particular that you do to protect your peace?
I pray.
Okay.
I exercise. And I try to stay away from negativity.
Right. I get it. And
It's a spirit. And a lot of people possess that spirit. And if you're not careful, they'll try to thrust it upon you. You have to be very careful who you hang around with, who you let enter your circle.
All day, every day. And you'll see my circle is so small. And I keep it that way. And I prefer it that way.
And my circle is getting smaller and smaller every day. You know, I know a lot of people, but a lot of people aren't allowed into my inner space.
The inner sanctum. And they can't be. I know. I want to just say, because it's the second season, how I have not changed what I do in order to protect my peace. So one thing, and I know we talked about it off camera, one thing I do is when I wake up in the morning, I meditate. And what's meditation? Really is prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I am either sitting up with my eyes closed, and the first thing I do is I just thank Jesus for waking me up. And I'm just thankful for everything that I have been given. The next thing I do is that I go through whatever is going on with me to try to ease whatever's happening. I try to just, maybe it'll come to me how I should approach something. Maybe it's, I don't know, but it's just whatever's sort of on my mind when I wake up. And then after that, I end it with thank you for being grateful, for being able to just have the mindset to even do it.
Right.
Then from there, I roll over, I open up my nightstand, I pull out my journal, and I write. Mm-hmm. And I journal. And the first thing I start off with, I said, thank you, Jesus, for waking me up. Then I said, God is my source, and I live in abundance. Mm-hmm. And then there's some little things going on. There was one little saying that was going on on the TikTok. So I'm kind of sort of showing my age or my really the how new I am to TikTok. There was something saying, money comes to me easily, money comes to me fast, money enjoys my company, the type of money that lasts. So I started writing that down in my journal, right?
It's a catchy phrase.
It is catchy, and it's just affirming what it is, who I want, and who I believe I am. And then I write down whatever else is going on. I will pay my bills. I pay my bills because I got to put it like these bills are paid. Payroll is made. Mm-hmm. Everyone, I pay people. I pay. If I say I'm going to pay, I pay. After that, when I come back home and I say, when I leave, I've got those 4 things done and I feel good. And then when I come back home, before I go to bed, I meditate again. I say another prayer just to be back in my bed again. Mm-hmm. Also, in the morning, what I do is I work out. I do a stretch. I do a stretch from top of my head to the bottom of my feet stretch. Mm-hmm. And then I started incorporating some push-ups in there. Yeah. Just to try to, hey, we got to get this. We got to keep it, and it's about strength. It's about, I got to keep my strength up. Mm-hmm. I got to keep that up.
Mentally and physically.
And that's what does it. Because I know if I got the mindset to do it, so then physically sort of be the easy part, but the mental part is actually doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many times to lay in bed. That's an extra, maybe with all that might be an extra 30 minutes I could be say putting on sleep. But I say no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing this because I need that repetition. That is something that I can say that I've done for me because I've got to be the best me I can be for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing I do is fast. I do a 24-hour fast at least once a week.
Okay.
At least once a week. So what happens?
So the fast consists of
just water.
Just water.
For 24
hours? Wow.
For 24 hours.
That's great.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So normally it starts on a Tuesday maybe around 2 o'clock. 24 hours is not 2 to 2. 24 hours is really 2 to 1. Right? That's the whole 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 to 1. But what I do is when I come off my fast, I want fresh food. So I purchased crock pots or Instant Pots, whatever, pressure cookers in there. And I make sure I have food.
Okay.
So, which is good for my staff, for my team, because at least they get to eat whatever I decide to cook. And so sometimes I get orders, wait a minute, this is my fast. This is something I decided to say. I chose this. So we eat what I cook and what it is, what I'm feeling. So that's just some of the things that I do that I was doing last season, and I'm still doing this season. Hopefully from season 1 to season 2, folks will see the growth. But what they will also see is the consistency. And that's very important.
Yes.
That's very important.
Congratulations. Very proud of you.
Thank you very much. I didn't know who I was when I was a lot younger. And that might go for a lot of us. Or I won't speak for anybody else, but I didn't know.
It's amazing how far God has brought us.
Exactly.
When we started out to where we are now.
Exactly.
It's not an easily traveled road, and a lot of people can't do what we do on a day in and day out basis and keep your sanity. People ask, they say, oh, you're always traveling, you're always doing this. And I think to myself, it's either this or the psych ward. I'm going to be somewhere resting. I'm going to be somewhere resting, somewhere having, either it's going to be self-medication or it's going to be prescribed medication. But it's going to be somewhere. It's going to be absolutely. It's necessary because if you're not careful, you will burn yourself out.
You absolutely will.
And it's very easy to do. And then your body gets immune to it. I think it was almost 3 years ago. I had a stroke, and to this day, I don't know what brought it on. It couldn't have been anything but possibly stress, I suppose.
Because you don't drink.
Don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs.
I know it. I know it.
I think I eat a relatively healthy diet. I haven't had beef in years. I haven't had pork in years. I stay away from fried food now, especially during this Lenten season.
Right.
I'm giving up sugar. But 3 years ago, I guess I probably wasn't in as good as health as I thought I was, because since then, I think I've lost about maybe 20 pounds.
Oh, really? All right. Well, you look the same size. I mean, you've always looked in shape to me. Always been in shape. Yes, you look good to me. So that's good.
Yeah, but the pressure cooker job that I had, because I was on the docket where I did all the homicides for the city of Detroit, all the sexual assaults, all the domestic violence, all of the elder abuse, and all of the child abuse cases. I was the only judge in district court to do those cases. And I did them every day. And I would tell people that it didn't faze me because this is something that I've always done. Even when I was in the prosecutor's office, I only did murder, rape, and robbery cases, and usually sort of the high-profile cases. So doing this docket was not a big thing for me. I can handle it. But I think you internalize a lot of things because I see a lot. I see the worst of the worst from the city of Detroit. And you want to be fair. You don't want to just lock everybody up, because lawyers like yourself come who have valid issues, about how things are done procedurally and so forth, and they have to be followed.
Right.
But it's a very difficult thing to look at this person who's accused of killing 3 or 4 people, and you have this technical issue that Attorney Deion Webster Cox has brought up saying, oh, but they didn't have probable cause to do this, Judge. And for that, you have to ignore all the horrible things that you've heard and throw this case out. That's a lot of pressure to put on a person.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And just imagine it being on the side of the defense attorney, because you're looking at this person, and you have to constantly remember that your job is to protect their constitutional rights. Make sure that's being protected.
And that's my job as well.
Exactly.
You know?
So we're both on the same team. Yeah. We're on the same team.
But it's kind of hard when you have a guy who's accused of pulling an elderly woman's diaper down and raping her in front of her disabled husband, and saying that there's something technical that was not done or something procedurally wrong here, and you should ignore everything that you've heard and throw this out. You know, those kinds of issues that you have to deal with on a daily basis.
I thank you for coming to work every day. That's what I can say. I thank you for coming to work, because I know it's not easy. It absolutely isn't easy. The thing of it is, I can remember my daughter was 10 and I was representing a person who was accused of sexual CSE of a minor, 10 years old. Mm-hmm. And now I had just gotten on the list, because those cases everybody couldn't get those cases. Those were your capital cases. So I just got on the capital list, and I had to listen to what he had to say, and I listened to what he had to say, and I had to get the background story. Now, at no point in time did I would never blame the child, because there's nothing. I mean, I say that even about the whole Sean Combs deal, P. Diddy thing. If there were any kids involved, you're done. You're done. If it was all adults, and I maintain, if it was all adults, it is what it is. That's how I feel about it. It is what it is. So if it's all adults, I'll represent them. But if it's some kids, I won't. I can't explain. I wouldn't be able to do that. But here it was.
See, I can't hold that position.
You can't.
I have to listen to everybody and everybody's side.
Right.
Because there may be an occasion where a kid has been coached or coaxed into saying something, or for whatever reason may not be truthful. I don't know.
Right.
Or inconsistent in what it is that they're saying. Inconsistency versus believability.
Right.
You know, so those are things that I have to consider. You've
got to consider, because did that story stay the same all throughout? Did it remain the same?
And if it changed, did it change in a big way? And why did it change?
Exactly. Well, here was the person I was representing. My daughter was the same age. Background story: the mother was on drugs. Mm-hmm. The mother was working, and she was a heroin addict. The mother was working, and she needed a babysitter for her daughter. So she goes and asks her ex-boyfriend, her ex-lover, who gets his girlfriend's sister's brother to watch the girl. And the mother agreed to that. And he had admitted to his sister that he kissed her. And he had admitted to his, that he loved her, that they were in love.
Oh, wow.
And when I saw that little girl, and it didn't go to trial. No, it did go to trial. I think that did go to trial, because he maintained that he did.
Was that my case?
No.
Was I the prosecutor on that?
No. You were judge. No, you were judge at that point.
Because I had a case that was similar to that, where this little girl was learning disabled, and this guy had befriended the family and had started tutoring the little girl. The little girl ended up missing. And so the family was frantically looking for her, and they called him, said, "Had you seen her?" He's like, "No, I haven't seen her." And so one day, the father was on the bus going down the street, saw the girl walking down the street with the guy. He jumps off the bus and is like, "Hey, wait, where have you been?" You know. And then she tells the story that she had been with him the whole time. That they had slept in the same bed, that he had penetrated her anally and vaginally. He had kissed her, all this kind of stuff. And when they questioned him, he admitted to kissing her. There was no physical evidence whatsoever. No tearing,
right.
No bruising, no nothing. And so and she was learning disabled. In fact, when I called her, had her on the stand, she zoned out on me. And then when she came back, it was like we were introduced all over again. And I said, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. So prior to that, though, recognizing that I had no physical evidence whatsoever, I offered him 6 months to 20 years or something like that, recognizing that all I want to do is get you in prison.
Right. You're going to get to see
if I can get you flopped to where you do some
right.
time in that. He wouldn't go for it. He went to trial, and he came up short.
Oh, well, that's
although she was learning disabled, the jury believed everything that she said.
Absolutely.
He ended up doing 15-30.
15-30. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Those situations. So the very first thing, I looked at the mother because I was so mad, and the mother ended up dying. She ended up ODing at some point in time. And then the mother's sisters from up north came, a mother's sister from up north came and got the girl and had to bring her back for trial. Which I just thought that anytime, if you abuse the gift that you've been given, which is a child, if you do, no good comes to you. No good comes to you. You will always want you, if not death, something. You can't do that. You can't do that to these children. You cannot, because they did not ask to be brought here. They come here with a clean slate, an absolute clean slate. So I represented him. I told him what was happening. I let him know it definitely was his right to go to trial, and he had his right to whether or not he wanted to testify in his own defense. And he chose to testify. I think he chose to testify. I'm not quite clear on that one. But I know that little girl testified. And when she testified, you knew she wasn't lying. You just knew it.
That's a wrap.
It was a wrap. It was an absolute wrap. So that happened to him. But the very first thing is I have always had a tight rein on my daughter, meaning there wasn't a place. So maybe I didn't go to a lot of parties because if she couldn't go, I didn't go. Do you see what I'm saying? If she wasn't invited, right.
Absolutely.
This was more important to me. So whatever I needed to do, hopefully I did it prior to having her getting married. Hopefully I did whatever I had to do, because you would see you're going to see first of all, you're going to see how I make money. Mm-hmm. This is what I get up and do every single day.
Right.
This is what we do. And if you don't have a school, you can come right along with me. And she knew to sit there, be quiet. And that's what she would do. She would sit there, be quiet. And she would listen.
She was in the court,
you wouldn't.
Unless I saw her.
No, you wouldn't know. Yeah. You would not know. And so even, I remember once I had a juvenile trial.
Is she 16 now?
She's 16.
What time is flying?
16.
When I saw her, she had to be no more than 7 or 8.
7 or 8, and I started bringing her to court at 3.
Oh, wow.
I started bringing her to court, bringing her to on Fridays we would have trainings at KMAC.
Okay.
I brought her there.
Okay.
And she'd have to sit there.
Does she want to go into law?
No.
My kids neither. Neither one of my boys want to go into law.
No. She
law enforcement maybe, but not law.
Well, this is what I told her. I said, listen, and I told her that when she was in my womb. Good girls graduate from high school, good girls graduate from college, good girls graduate from law school, good girls pass the bar. And then you can do whatever you want. So she wants to go into AI, computer science. I said, that's fine. And you can still, you can go to college, graduate. You can go to law school, graduate, pass the bar. Because then I know you can take care of yourself. Because honestly, I want her.
So you're making her go to law school?
Oh, that's part of the plan.
Okay.
That's the plan. Because I said.
But she doesn't want to go into law.
She doesn't have to. She may change her mind.
Okay.
She'll still have the credential. There are plenty of JDs out there that,
absolutely.
That aren't doing anything. And my thing is this: you do this, you go ahead and go. It's just a foundation. Just like my father told me, he said, "You learn how to type. If you learn how to type, you'll always have a job." Now I'm going on 55, April 16th.
Youngster.
So
I'm already 55.
Well, you look good. And so then here it is. He told me that. And I took a typing class. I think my first one might have been in 8th grade or something. Then when I was in high school, I went into Cass Tech. I went into the business. I wasn't chem bio. I was business. So we still had to learn the computers and all that. Okay. I was a high school co-op at GM. That's where I met Sandra Bolger, my mentor. And she was like, no, you're going to Michigan or Michigan State.
Okay.
I don't know why they're trying to push you here. But that's where you're going. And she wrote a letter for me and everything. I went to Michigan.
Oh, well.
Well, Sandra graduated from, you know who Sandra Bolger is? Sandra and Harold Bolger.
Mhm.
She was at the GM tax staff as an attorney. Her undergrad was Michigan State, and she graduated from the University of Michigan Law School.
Okay.
So that's how she's like, you're going to go to either one. Because I was thinking, well, nothing wrong with any of these schools. I was thinking Lincoln. That was HBCU. It still is. And I was thinking Wayne State. I was thinking, that's pretty much where I was thinking.
Okay.
And she's like, no. Why are you not thinking? I was like, I don't know. Because my parents both graduated from Wayne State.
Okay.
So she's like, no, you got to think big. Think big. Think bigger. I said, okay, I'll apply. And then the rest is history. But I've been grooming her, and that's what I've been doing for 17 years. So because I've been telling her who and what she's going to be. And, I wanted, as long as she went on a college tour. I went to Vietnam, and she went on a college tour. And she came back and she asked me, she was, Mommy, how are you going to feel? How do you feel about if I go to, how would you feel if I go to an HBCU?
Mm-hmm.
And I turned my head and I said, I'm fine. As long as you go. As long as it's not Wayne State, because I wanted her to go away. I don't want her to stay at home. I wanted her experience to go away. And she goes, well, I found my people at Howard. I want to go to Howard.
Okay.
And I said, okay.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with nothing at all.
I considered an HBCU when I was in high school, and then I started doing my research. And it made me realize that the racism that they face as graduates coming out, and I said, I already got my strikes against me. I don't need more.
Right.
Whereas coming from a Big Ten school, you're part of a fraternity, so to speak. Especially in this area, especially in the Midwest,
right.
You're received a little differently because you're part of them. You're not really part of them, but you're
right. Well, at least we all went to Michigan. We went to Michigan. We went to Michigan State. That's exactly.
You're part of the fraternity going that route.
So she's and she's still just a junior, and that's where she said that those are people. And I said, fine, if you've met your tribe. And you can always go to a school she studied at Cambridge last summer. So you can always do something on the summer. You can always go to, it doesn't matter. If that's where you want to go, the whole bottom line is for you to go. Right. I want you to go. You've got to have that experience. That's it. Go and have the experience. So I think she'll probably take a different route than me in that she will more than likely, she'll probably join a fraternity. A sorority. She'll probably be in a sorority. They wouldn't let me play in the reindeer games, right? They would not.
Really?
The first time I think you rush first, and then I didn't make it to pledge. They said no. And then the second time I went Delta Sigma Theta. And then the second time, because it was with the women that I was in, who I just rushed with prior, and they had made it. And we were sitting in Helen Newberry. And they're the same women that last year crying. And then they're going hard on me. And I said, wait a minute, am I getting in or not? And somebody said, no, you're not. I said, well, let me get on out of here. Because I'm not going to sit up here. You're right. Don't sit up here abusing. Right. It was abusive. I'll be in a toxic relationship. Right. You just, if you're getting off on, and truly just getting off on,
and they had no intention.
No intention, because I asked them, I said, am I getting in or not? They're like, no. And I said, all right. And I got up in love.
Wow.
I wasn't staying. So then, now here it is every single time, people say with my daughter. I said, listen, she probably won't get in because of me. She probably won't. They'll look back. No, she's going to get in. She's going to get in. I said, well, I thought I was going to get in because of my great aunt was a Delta. But that didn't happen. I guess wasn't close enough of a legacy or whatever. But I said, so I don't know. But I just tell my daughter, like, listen, I said, don't worry about it. Please don't get caught up in that because because that stayed with me for years. I was really hurt by that. I was a Dale Sprite, I think they called them. So I was in the high school, whatever little fish bowl. I was in the Jabberwock, and I participated in all those programs. Yeah, in high school. So no, I was not accepted. They told me no, but I'm happy where I am now. I'm good.
Undergraduate. I went to Michigan State. I pledged Phi Beta Sigma, and I was online. And then my grandfather had gotten really, really sick.
Okay.
And then when he died, I dropped mine.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't go back, but those guys stayed with me for the next 30 years, telling me that I had unfinished business.
Oh, wow.
So 3 years ago, I pledged graduate.
Did you really?
In fact, I'm missing a meeting right now, being here with you.
Oh, thank you.
Meeting is at 12 o'clock. So.
Oh, dear.
Well, but I said that I would be here, so here I am.
Thank you.
Those guys are great guys. Phi Beta Sigma, Blue Phi.
All right. Anyway, what about that way?
Yeah, Blue Phi.
All right, there it is.
Those are my guys.
Those are your guys. See, you found your people.
Yeah, those are my guys.
I don't have people. I've got me.
They're not the only sorority. We have a sister sorority, Zeta Phi Beta.
Yeah, I'm not interested in. I wouldn't pledge anything now at this point. At this stage, I wouldn't. So right now, what I do is I donate. I give. I'm charitable. To different
You're
causes.
Already doing it. Me find me.
Yeah, I do my own, and I think that I truly believe that everybody, and this is why even when I practice and when I go before judges and I have defense counsel, I come from a place that everybody's doing what they have been directed to do. Mm-hmm. I was directed to do this, so my guy said for me to go this way, right? This is the way I'm going. We're all going the way, and it turns out the way it's supposed to turn out. That's how I look at things. Like, okay, everybody's doing a job, and I have no problem with everybody doing a job. So I go back to that point where I said, hey, I was in Helen Newberry. I'm happy she did tell me no. Mm-hmm. I'm happy she didn't make me come to more sit down and pull up with that crap. I'm happy she did because I was able to say, okay, thank you, mm-hmm. and let me go on about my business and do be about the business of what I need to be doing. Right. And it really helped and shaped me because it helped me. It really did, because I can always appreciate somebody being very honest with me. Mm-hmm. You're honest with me, I got it. I can, and in fact, I'm not going to be mad at you or angry, because I'll say, okay, I understand that. What I don't understand, if you sit in my face and tell me something, completely lie to me, and then we got a problem. Yeah. Then we got a problem. So other than that, I'm okay. Just tell me, and I can deal with it. Okay, and that's what it was. And okay, and so I ended up living in Martha Cook. Martha Cook is a dormitory on the campus of the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor campus, and those women, it was all woman dormitory on campus, and that was like my little sorority. Okay, that really was. So we were there, and
you still keep in contact with them today?
I'm on the board. I'm on the Alumni Association board. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on the board. I was a little shocked when they started letting and I said it, when they started letting the transgenders in. I was just like, it's supposed to be all, what are you doing? What are you doing? But it's happening. I don't know what's going to happen now with the new administration and what's going to happen there. But there was nothing in the charter that said that it had to be all women. Yeah. Okay, that's different. Times are changing. Times are much different now. Totally different. Because I just thought
that's not something we ever had to contend with or even consider.
Never thought. College. Never even thought it. Yeah. Never came up. So I went to an event where they were volunteering, and I saw one of the ladies who was in transition, and I said, "Oh my God, they are. She is here. She is here." I said, "Wow." And I said, "Okay, all right. Well, you're part of Martha Cook. Welcome." So I welcomed the person, and that was it. That was it. Okay. Yeah. and that's all I have to say about that. But that was my sorority. That really now is, with new people. I say that because now, whereas a sorority is normally all female, you think, right? Mm-hmm. That's right. What I thought. That now it's now I guess, but until you completely have the operation, you're still biologically what you are, right? If you haven't had that operation, you're still biologically your original sex.
Very interesting. I'm not sure what our bylaws say, but I believe they state that you have to be a male in order to join our fraternity.
Well, you might want to read your bylaws to see what it says.
I think
Because that was the thing about it. Didn't say it. It didn't say you had to be a. It did not say you had to be a woman to live in the dorm.
no.
It was just always said that but there was nothing saying that you must be a woman. It was like this was set up for women. This was this, but nothing saying that it had.
Interesting.
Yep. And I remember you had a curfew. You could not have any men in your dormitory after 11 o'clock. They had to be out of there. Could not be in the
I
room.
wonder if Michigan State is experiencing the same issue because we have an all-female dormitory there, Yankee Gilchrist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they're having the same issue or not, or if that's even an issue.
I want to say it's not an issue.
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean, when I say issue, I mean as opposed to should they be there or not, or is there something that says that they cannot?
Right, exactly. See, that William Cook was Martha Cook's brother, and he built it for his sister Martha Cook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was something that was actually given to the university. It was completely it was gifted. It was gifted there.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's all. I mean, it's part of the university, but it was a separate. It really had a separate body. There's a board of governors for it. It's completely. It's not as separate as it used to be, but because the University of Michigan has taken over sort of the leadership of it, or the running, the operations of the facility. But yeah, so that was an issue. And but I thought my daughter might have wanted to go to the University of Michigan. I really did. I had been taking her there to the Martha Cook Tea so she could be a part of it. I really had.
The pride that you have when you see your child or children go to the school that you went to. Because I was bursting with pride when my oldest son decided to go to Michigan State. And then my youngest son, and the interesting story about my youngest son is that after my second year at Michigan State, I moved off campus. I moved to Campus Hill Apartments.
Okay.
And so my youngest son gets to Michigan State, and after his first year, he wanted to move off campus. I think it was after his first year. Might have been the second, but I think it was his first. He wanted to move off campus. And so he says, okay, I'm looking for an apartment. I said, okay. So he tells me and his mom, my wife, he says, I think I found a place. I want you to come up and look at it. I said, okay. So we go to this place. It's this rundown apartment place, but this was like the parent place that farms out to other places.
Yes.
So he says, okay, no, this isn't the place. The place that you're going to is down the road. I said, oh, okay. So we pull up in Campus Hill Apartments. I said, I used to stay here. He was assigned to my exact apartment that I lived in.
How do you remember that?
How can I forget it? I stayed there for 2 years.
I do
He
not.
moved into my very apartment.
You are kidding me.
It gave me chills.
It's amazing that you even remember the apartment you lived in. And it's absolutely amazing that he goes to the same one.
The same exact one.
Because I could not
Stayed
tell
in
you.
my same exact room.
Oh my God! It gave me
chills.
That would give you chills. I don't even remember the room that I stayed in Martha Cook or Alice Lloyd. I don't remember either.
Really?
With my second year, Alice Lloyd, my girlfriend was the RA, so we had this big long room. I remember that room, but I couldn't tell you what floor it was on or anything like that. But it was a big long room, so I stayed there with her. First year, I don't remember. And Martha, I have no clue because I go back almost every year for spring tea.
You'd be surprised what I can remember. I remember walking in my walker and falling down the stairs, bouncing down the stairs as a child, and knocking over a rubber tree plant, and my grandmother coming down, picking me up and crying. I remember.
Oh, I know she was crying like, please don't let anything be wrong with
I
him.
remember when my aunt who just passed. I remember when she got married. I was 5 years old, and I couldn't go to the wedding.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Left me home.
Okay.
But I think they must have went to the Justice of Peace or something like that. But anyway, I remember that.
Right.
It's certain things I remember from my childhood.
Oh, wow.
So it doesn't surprise me that I can remember something 30 years ago if I can remember something 50 years ago.
Oh, wow. I don't, would, my great aunt Louise would write me. She lived in Alton, Illinois, and she was a traveler. She was a teacher, and she was a traveler. She actually.
So that's where you get it from.
Oh yeah, because I remember Aunt Louise went to Spain. Okay. Aunt Louise went to Egypt because Aunt Louise went to China because she brought me back a jade ring, and they would have the projectors up,
okay.
And with the little projector where you'd have to put the little card in, would have to and it would be on the wall. Remember those?
Yeah.
The circular.
Yes.
And we have to sit there and watch those pictures, and I just loved it.
Okay.
So yes, she was my very first influence because she told me and my sister, she said, "Listen, if you learn the language, I'll take you there."
Oh wow.
Well, I took a year of Spanish, didn't go, but it was okay. It was okay. It was all right. And then, that was my Aunt Louise. She was absolutely wonderful. But I say all that to say that she was a major influence on me, and so I can remember her giving me that.
Is she a lawyer?
No, she's a teacher.
A teacher. Oh, you did say
she's
that.
A teacher in Alton, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, she was married to my Uncle Charles, who was a driver for a family, a prominent family in Illinois. Yeah. And they had a house, a simple house, and I always looked at them as being rich. I always thought they had. They just seemed to have. But what it was they had it was very well kept, clean as a whistle. That house was clean. They lived there. He had some lots behind them, a little structure in front of where he did upholstery. He had an upholstery business. And opposed to buying a big old house, they had that house, and she traveled and saved her. That's just what they did. So you picked and chose what you wanted to do. Okay. You had to pick and choose, and that's something that I've done. That's something that I've done. I forget what my original point with that was. I was trying to.
Did she have any children?
No, she never had any children.
Okay.
She never had any children. She loved my mother. She loved my mother like her own. She really did, and she loved us because my very first airplane flight, my very first flight was to go see her. My mother put us on let us go back with her, let me go back with her, and then that was my first time on the airplane when I was like 5 years old. 5 years old, and I stayed with her, and my mother let me do it, and then from there, I remember my sister and I we were not getting along, and my mother must have been tired, and she sent us down there. She flew us down there, and we stayed down there for a couple of days. Who, my mom?
No.
Oh, my Aunt Louise, no, she's not alive. She passed away in 1998, I believe, or 1990. Yeah, 1998. Before I went to law school, she passed away. Yeah, wonderful woman. My grandmother, her sister, wonderful woman. Absolutely just beautiful people. And my grandmother always wore dresses, always wore skirts, always. And then I find myself repeating what I do because I find myself always wearing dresses, always. And I just like a dress.
That's how you were raised.
Yeah, that's how I was raised. In fact, this dress I have on today, I got in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was in Vietnam.
How was Vietnam?
I love Vietnam.
Really?
I have a story about Vietnam. I'm on the beach in Vietnam. Now, this was an adult trip. It was pretty much me for myself, and then I had a girlfriend of mine, her son flew in where I was, and they stayed for 2 nights, and then they flew back on out. We did an activity, like an all-day excursion together. But this was an adult trip for me.
Okay.
Meaning, so I'm staying at the Intercontinental, and they have there's beach access, and it's a part where it's just for them, where you had to show your card or whatever, tell them what room number you're in. I'm on the beach, and a man comes up to me, and he's selling art. He's selling his oil on canvas, and he's this beautiful. In fact, I was going to bring them to show you. And he shows me the pictures, and I said, "Okay." I said, "Let me give you of women." He had one of a woman, and there was a woman. You couldn't really see her face; it was abstract, and she had a basket, and there was fish in a basket, and the fish in a basket. And I said, "Well, she looks sad. Why does she look sad?" He was like, "Oh, the read thing." He had a information sheet, and I saw the picture and I saw the description, and it said she's unhappy. Okay. I said, well, do you have
So
anything
this
else?
guy spoke English.
He spoke some English. He did. He was pretty good. It was broken, but he spoke it. And he told me to read this, and I read it, and that was in English. And then I said, well, you have a twin to this, a companion to this. So he showed me another one. It was a different woman, same style, but this woman, her basket was empty. I said, oh, she sold her fish. That's good. It's a good story. She sold her fish. And he was like, no, she's still unhappy. I said, why are they unhappy? He goes, America came and bombed us 50 years ago. I said, I'll take two. I'll take two.
Oh, wow.
I'll take two. I'll take two. And at that point, I said, I wonder if that's how white people feel when slavery is brought up. Because I was just like, what? I was born in 1970. I swear they didn't ask me about it. I had no say on the bombing. I had no say. But I was like, okay, I'm here to support. Okay, I'll buy two of them. And I went and bought two. So then later on, a couple days later, 3 days later, he comes back to me. And he goes, I said, hi, how are you? He goes, I'm good. How are you? He goes, I sold 15 pictures yesterday. I said, that's wonderful. That's great. He goes, I want you to buy some more. I said, I'm not buying anymore. Now, I didn't support the economy. I tipped him. I tipped her. I paid everybody. No more. I said, I'm a single mother. I'm not doing it anymore.
Wow.
I did my part, but I do want to go back. I was staying. I was on the 18th
I
floor.
always worry about the language barrier.
Oh, no,
How
you're
am I
fine.
going to?
Oh, no, don't worry about that.
Really?
Okay.
Why not?
That's you go right now. They've got translation programs on your phone, your app. They'll come. No, you get an e-card, an eSIM card, all that. You're fine.
Okay.
That's the least of your worries. No. And then you figure we're tourists. They really just want us to buy things and support. So no.
Okay.
And you go and you're respectful.
The other issue I have is safety.
Oh no, safety is fine.
Really?
Now keep in mind, I'm not out trying to go find the disco or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I'm in the house or in the hotel by 9:00, or I'm in, and I'm not inviting strangers up to my room or doing anything like that. Right. So, and during the day, when I did walk around, it was fine. It was fine. Yeah, it was absolutely fine. So no, that's not a thing to even. I didn't worry about that.
Is it your experience that you run across people who hate Americans?
I didn't find that to be the case. I mean, he just told me, because I kept saying, why are they so unhappy? Why are they so unhappy? He's like, America bombed us 50 years ago. So, that was a wow. That would be a wow. Wouldn't that be a wow for you? That would just be a wow. Like, wow. Okay.
Well, you could have came back on them. Well, America enslaved us 200 years ago.
I wasn't even thinking that. I felt so bad for him. I said, okay, fine. My mind wasn't there. So I should be able to, they did just both. They both did this. They just both dirty. No, I didn't even do that. I didn't do that at all. My mind didn't even go there. It just went to, wow, I'll absolutely support you. So I've got these pictures. I'm going to have them framed from my trip. I want to go back.
Okay.
I definitely want to go back. It's beautiful. I was on the beach. I was in night train.
Are they still separated by a north and south?
Well,
I haven't heard very much about Vietnam anymore, but I know that was the origin of the war. I mean, how can you pick and choose a side and everybody looks alike? How can you tell who's the enemy and who's friend from a war?
Right, I understand.
It had to be a very difficult war to fight.
I would think so, and that's why remember, Muhammad Ali refused to go, right? He was in prison for not participating. I would think it would have been for those. It would, either you support your country and you go over there. I'm happy we're past that. I'm happy we're at a place where we can go.
Half of that country is still communist.
I think where I was might have been communist. You don't even know. So I've been to China 3 times. China's a communist country. You can't even tell.
Really?
You don't even know it's communist. You don't. You go there, people have businesses. They're thriving. They're doing well. Okay? So I know we had our vice president say they were peasants. I was like, I don't know what peasants he saw, because when I was over in China, I didn't see any peasants. I saw people living quite well and businesses thriving. So I just say that I had a great time so last 2 months ago, we were in April, 2 months ago, I was in Bali. I enjoyed Bali. I really like Bali because they looked like their skin color was like my skin color. And I said, oh my gosh. They were like, I saw me. And I've been to Fiji. But when I went to Bali, I said, oh my God. Then I go to Vietnam. Vietnam, where I'm staying is off, and I was off the beach in Bali as well. But I woke up, I had an eastern view, so I saw the sunrise. And just to see the sunrise in this high rise where I was, off the beach, it was a wonderful experience.
Wow.
And I was in
What about the food?
Food was wonderful.
Was it?
It was excellent.
Okay.
It was excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, it was well worth it. It was worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, I would go back. I absolutely would. I've got the dong. I'm going back to use it. And I just want to remind people to continue to watch the reruns or watch how we're going to re-air it again. But yes, I appreciate you coming on, Judge
Thank
King.
you for having me. It's always good.
I really
I learned
appreciate
a lot more about you.
Did you?